Thank you very much. We're back as you're watching the 2017 Play for the Cure game to bring awareness to and raise money towards childhood cancer. And we've talked a lot about that Play for the Cure game, and now seems like a very appropriate time to get sort of to the root of it, the heart of it, and how it all began and where you can contribute to this cause. So I'm going to turn it over to Vicky, and why don't you take it from here?
All right. So the Play for the Cure, this would have been the 11th season for it, and they raised money for cancer awareness. And a couple years ago, they started going gold for childhood cancer. The two original charities are where the money is going this year. You can donate to our virtual event, Play for the Cure, so that we can still raise money for the charities, even though there's not a game this year. If you want to donate, it is givebutter.com, BUTTER, givebutter.com/Play for the Cure. And the money is going to the Lisa Wednesday Scholarship Fund at Stonington High School and to Camp Rising Sun, which is in Colebrook. Lisa Wednesday was a Stonington High School softball player. She was actually a teammate of mine. She died in 1990 at the age of 20 after battling cancer her whole life. So tonight we have Marissa Walker, who was diagnosed with osteosarcoma when she was 9 and is now a lovely, healthy sophomore, right, at the University of Miami.
My sophomore year.
Yeah, rising junior at the University of Miami. She is on your left, and her sister Kazi Walker is on the right, and they're backwards from which way their names are. But so Marissa was actually a camper at Camp Rising Sun, and I was wondering, Marissa, if you could talk about going to Camp Rising Sun and how awfully much it meant to you and the people that you met there.
So I started going to Camp Rising Sun when I was in 5th grade because it took me a little bit to build up the courage to kind of leave home and do a sleepaway camp because that's something I've never experienced before. But I mean, I've met some of my best friends at this place, and I've always struggled, I mean, growing up with obviously dealing with what I've been through and kind of like navigating, feeling normal and fitting in and just being myself. Whereas ever since I've been going to camp, I haven't been in a few years because you can't go once you're past 17, but it's like my second home, and I've met people where you don't even have to talk about the fact that, oh, I had cancer, oh, you had cancer. Well, you don't have to talk about that. It's just like it's an unspoken thing, and it's this bond that I can't really explain. You just know. And I met my best friend there, and it's so special to me, and I love that this is a way to raise money for it because it's free to go to camp there.
When you were little and Liz and Anne-Marie started the game, did you ever think that was it ever your goal to pitch in it? And Kazi, you too, like, did you guys know that you were going to be a part of the game, and how meaningful was it to both of you to actually be a part of it?
Okay. Yeah, I guess like growing up in I was in middle school. I think you were still in elementary school, and we got to go on the bus the first time, and we were still in the dugout, and just like, to me, and I think Marissa too, like those older girls were like superstars.
Yeah,
like they were so cool,
like literal superheroes.
Yeah, like we thought they were the coolest people ever. And so yeah, it was always a thought like, oh, one day I'm gonna be on here too, and like maybe someone will look up to me the way like I look up to these girls. And so I think it's always been a goal to play, and then to be able to play together for 2 years too.
Yeah, that's even more special. Yeah, I'd say. And like for me, like when my Aunt Liz was on here talking, like I had my own locker, and we'd go in and we decorate the locker room, and she was like my tutor when I was going through treatment, because I didn't really go to third grade. So we hung out a lot, and when it was softball season, I would just kind of be her little assistant, and I remember just absolutely, like Kazi said, idolizing these girls. But at the time, I guess me being so naive and unaware of like what was gonna come in my future, yeah, I definitely was like, yeah, I'll be playing. Like, and I mean, obviously there were obstacles to come in the future, but it was still, softball was something that kept me like sane, and it made me feel normal. And being able to actually play and be on the field and be with my friends, like that meant the world to me. And especially, obviously, this game means so much to me.
So you guys, to me, I'm sure everybody has a different one, but my best memory of this game was Marissa's senior year. She had surgery in January on your knee, right? Like a pretty.
My last one.
Oops, my phone. A pretty significant surgery, and you pretty much had no business like getting back in shape to play softball by softball season, but you did. And she started, she was the starting pitcher for Waterford in the Play for the Cure game, and it just was so meaningful. Marissa, how did you, what was your motivation to get back, and like, how did you get ready so quickly, and like you just wanted it so much, it seems?
I mean, that was just my mindset going through everything that I've dealt with. Like, I didn't know if I was going to maybe need another surgery, maybe right before our first game, like my senior year. I didn't know. It was so unexpected, everything that had happened to me. And I just had to learn to roll with the punches. And my thing was, I missed out on a lot growing up, obviously. And knowing that it was my senior year, I wanted to enjoy those last few months. I wanted to not just softball season, but like little things like going to prom and enjoying my senior, like graduating, and just enjoying the last few months with my friends that I've grown up with. Like, I wanted to be a part of all of that, and because I feel like I kind of got gypped a little bit, like all through high school and middle school and some of elementary school. Like, there was stuff that I missed out on, and obviously playing for my uncle, like I told him, I was like, I'm gonna be on the field. Like, you're just gonna have to accept it, and I'll be there. And I may not be practicing all the time, but I'm gonna do what I can. And that was something that I always told myself going through rehab. With every surgery that I have no other option than just to get better. Like, what else was I supposed to do? You know, even if softball wasn't around the corner, like, I'm not just gonna lay in bed and milk it. Like, I'm gonna go to PT. I'm gonna do my exercises. I'm gonna be up and walking. I'm gonna be doing stuff I probably shouldn't be doing right away, but I'm gonna push myself. And that's just the mindset I always had. Like, there wasn't any other way around it than to just do it, you know?
Can you tell everyone what you're majoring in?
So I'm majoring in health science, and I'm minoring in psychology, and I'm hoping to go to PA school. I want to be a physician's assistant, and obviously I want to specialize in pediatric oncology. Big shocker. But yeah, that's my goal right now. I have a little ways to go. I'm technically supposed to graduate a semester ahead of like my class right now, just because of credits from high school. But I'm excited to see where I end up in the future, because obviously, like, a different aspect I think I hold is, like, if I were to work with patients who were like me, I can be like, hey, I've been where you've been, and I know you're going to be okay. And that's like the main reason why I want to do it. Like, because I know I've had so many nurses that were also sick, and it means a lot coming from someone who actually has been in that bed and has been struggling, to hear them say, you're going to be okay. I know, because I was once where you were, and look at me now. Like, that means so much coming from someone who can actually relate.
Well, we know how competitive you all are, evidenced by Marissa's highlight was not this game, but was of the catch she made robbing Kazi of a walk-off wiffle ball home run earlier today. But I'm old. I forget. Coach Walker, who was the starting pitcher in the 2017 Play for the Cure game?
I think it was Marissa.
But wait a minute. I'm watching now, and she's not pitching anymore. What happened there?
You know what? We made a decision. We made a decision, and I regret it to this day. Believe me.
So, Marissa, and also,
he had to do what he had to do. But let's just get one thing straight.
Oh, God.
When I was a freshman in high school,
I knew it was
who
coming.
came to save the day? It was me.
I had to stir the pot because I remember watching it live. As it was happening live, I remember thinking to myself, I can't believe he's gonna go out there and color.
He treated me, and that's the thing. I wanted him to treat me like any other player, and I wasn't performing the way I wanted to. Granted, my hip was hurting, and I really shouldn't probably have been pitching anyway. But I'm just thankful that he let me be out there for such a special moment, because at the end of the day, this game means more than just winning. Like, there's a bigger meaning behind it.
Casey, I would have carried her out there to start that game, just so you know.
I know you would.
She was starting that game no matter what.
I know. We made a deal.
And I knew that the rain was going to hold off on the coldest day of the year, because there was no way that moment wasn't going to happen. Kazi, let me ask you, who's the most competitive walker? Yeah, I kind of sensed that.
The amount of times, so I went off, I played in college, the amount of times I get, I would have done that too. Oh, like, that's fine. Like, it's not, you were a captain. Oh, I would have done that too. Yeah, like, that's no big deal. I was just like, okay. So she always has to, and you know what? I give her so much credit, like her robbing my home run. Like, it's just in her.
It's in our blood, though.
It's the fire. She's
too.
got a lot of
and
it.
Melina, our little sister, shout out. She's in our living room right now. She's got it in her too. But it's in our blood, I guess.
Well, the Walkers are the first family of southeastern Connecticut baseball, softball. So
can I quickly say something though, Marissa? I just want to say we thank you from Stonington for sharing your story and joining us with it. But Kazi, you deserve a lot too, because you represent the siblings of the kids that go through it, and you are an amazing role model for those.
Perspective that not everyone understands too, because
they
so much too.
And so I think it's an important point, even though Marissa's queen, we get it, but that Kazi does, I think, represent the siblings that also are along with the journey. And I know for me, I will never forget you in that video when you were like, I play for her because she can't.
Yeah. You should have played that.
That would have brought some tears, I know. But I really am serious, because you know this. Stonington loves you all, and we really appreciate you guys opening up your hearts, and the Walkers are an amazing family, and you need a tribe to get you through those stuff, and you guys have that. So
my family is they're my best friends. And I don't know if you can't say that for a lot of people, but maybe we obviously have
might be
a different situation, but like I can say each and every single one of them are like my best friend.
And you're surviving in quarantine, so that's even more. You even like them in quarantine.
That's a miracle.
I want to live stream one of those wiffle ball games, guys. I can't thank you enough, Marissa, for obviously for over the years for sharing your story and for being a part of this, and like Coach just said, Kazi, you know, for being one of the first sort of faces that we saw playing for someone. You're one of the first people that we talked to about that, and you know, we can't thank you enough for being with us. We're going to go back to this 2017 Play for the Cure game, and I believe we're heading into the fourth inning, and we're going to speed it up. And I think at this point we get a couple innings in, and then we're going to be back with some alumni players from Waterford and from Stonington.